Okay, straight off the bat, let's get to the weight. Boom, 4.27 kilograms. What's up everyone, China Cycling here. This is my super light climbing bike. I use this for hill climb races and for going after KMs and stuff. So in this little video, I thought I'd take you through the bike, all the components in it, and yeah, show you what it is.
When I pull up in my ride, whole squad down the slide. If you're scared, go inside. You ain't stopping this grind. When I pull up in my ride, whole squad down the slide. If you're scared, go inside. You ain't stopping this grind.
Oh, and by the way, do excuse the sound. There's a construction going on just over the road, so yeah, bear with me. Obviously, the most popular hill climb scene is probably the UK hill climb scene. As a former Brit in China, I think it's kind of like my job to represent the scene a bit. So this is the ride that I've been, this is the bike that I've been racing in the hill climb scene here. The hill climb race season in Xiamen runs a bit later. It's like normally November, December kind of time. But yeah, last race was 3 days ago, whatever. So I thought I'd show you my bike that I've been riding this year. And yeah, of course, you can pick it up with a little finger. So let's start with the frame. We've got a rim brake SLC in a size small. I've been riding this for ages, but this is its first time being rebuilt in this incarnation. And then I guess if we go from the front to the back, handlebar, it's my bar I use on all my bikes, my super generic 34 centimeter bar. Not the lightest thing in the world, but I chopped the drops off it, made it a bit lighter. The stem, we have an extra light stem. In the cockpit area, there's definitely some weight to be lost. But I guess one key feature of the bike is here we only have one shifter. So I've got the SRAM Red 22 shifter up here, and that's controlling the front brake and the rear derailleur, because I don't have a rear brake and I don't have a front derailleur. So only one shifter on here, and on the left, you've just got the drop of the bar, nothing else to hold on to whatsoever. Takes some getting used to, but I'll talk about that in a minute. Expanded plug, also nothing super crazy. There's some gains to be had here. Same with the headset, just the standard FSA number 42 headset, so some weight to be dropped here too. On the front brake is the Crane Creek EE brake, a genuine one at that, I'll have you know. You can find lots of these fake on AliExpress, but they don't actually sell fake ones in China. So yeah, the more you know. And then the wheels, I guess the wheels are a kind of a standout feature as well. So these are actually made for me by the boss of CRW. He's a good friend now, and I asked him to build these up for me. But before you go asking him, he won't build you one because they're not a very stable wheel set. Like, these spokes are pretty fragile. But anyway, I think it was like 690 grams for the set or something. I'll put in some screenshots and some data, but stupidly light, you know, like 690 grams for a set of wheels. They are tubular and they are rim brake, but yeah, they're built around Italian extra light hubs. And then laced onto those are these carbon spokes, but these carbon spokes have titanium ends at both ends. So super crazy, super lightweight stuff, but definitely not cheap, and not very sturdy either, because the bonding between the titanium and the carbon is prone to failure. But obviously there's quite a few of the spokes, so you know, they're stiff enough, especially for my like prawn watts, you know, FTP around 240 watts, plenty enough for me. So wrapped around the rims, I have these tubulars. They're the Tuffo Elites. They're the 23mm version, but they're also the 225 gram version. So you can actually get Tuffos in like 120 grams or something stupid, which are like track tires, but chance of making it to the end of a race without a flat, not very high. If you just want to build a show bike, sure, but if you want to build a bike that you're actually racing, I think, yeah, maybe 100 and some grams would be too light. These are 225 grams. I think I could go lighter and still get to the end of most races. But yeah, for now, it is what it is. Got some weight on the table to take off if I need to, but yeah. 23mm, they're taped onto the rims with Tuffo tape too, so yeah, they should stay on hopefully. Bottle cage, another like 12 gram bottle cage. Bottom bracket area, so the cranks, we've got the Sky Pivot from In Color. This is the last generation version. There's now a new updated generation version, but mine is still going strong, so I'll keep using it. I've got a power meter on there. Yeah, so despite the super lightweight, I've even got a power meter on here still. So that's the Suggy power meter. That's like 110 grams. So again, if I want to take off the power meter, I could probably drop some weight as well, but I'll keep the power meter on there for now, because I'm the kind of rider who I can't ride without power on the bike. So, but yeah, there's weight to be dropped if I take off the power meter and then put the Faveri Assium pedals on. I could drop some weight, but for now, it is what it is. Speaking of pedals, I've got the Look Keo carbon blades. The standard version, not the titanium version. So again, a little bit of weight to be gained there as well if I wanted to. Bottom bracket is also pretty heavy. It's like the Toka Ninja. I could definitely drop some weight in that area. The seat post is another generic brand. I think it's called like Cloud Cycling or something. pretty light, not crazy Darimo light and stuff, but also pretty cheap. Like this whole bike is kind of thrown together with parts I had laying around from old builds and stuff. Saddle's the same kind of deal. This is like an 89 gram saddle, I think. Like I say, on Panopodium, we now have like the 62 grams, 63 grams from MVMT. So again, I've got room to improve there. I was literally too lazy to put it on here from my Velo, so it is what it is. Rear cassette also on Panopodium. It's the in color Zoni cassette. This is the 11-speed one. So this is an 1128, but as you can see, I've got a mountain bike rear derailleur on here. So I can switch out the cassettes depending on the variants in the road that I'm going for. For a few of the races previously, I had an 1136 on there, but for these days, just going for some comms and stuff, they're pretty short, and I know pretty much what gear I want to be in, so an 1128 is enough. So yeah, speaking of the rear derailleur, I've got a SRAM XS1. I don't do mountain bike stuff, but yeah, mountain bike rear derailleur on here, which is what lets me go up to bigger cassettes and also stops me getting chain drops. But as you can see, because it is a mountain bike rear derailleur, the cable routing is different than road derailleurs. So the cable for me comes out the bottom bracket, and then I run an external cable all the way down to the rear derailleur. So again, I could drop weight by going to a traditional SRAM red rear derailleur, but like I say, I might be going for some longer, like 1 hour-ish KOMs with this in the future. So I wanted to have the option to put on an 1136. So if the road goes flat or if the road goes steep, I've got gears for the occasion. Quick releases are by a brand called Ferre. I'll have more information on them coming in the coming months, but they make some cool trick parts too. But yeah, I guess that about covers all the components. And yeah, let's put a helmet on and go take it for a ride, see how it rides.
When I pull up in my ride, whole squad down the slide. If you're scared, go inside.
So I had a few friends jump on this, and the first thing everyone does when they jump on is kind of like look down and go, where do I put my hands? As roadies, we're so muscle memory to putting our hands on the hoods, and your hand goes on one hood and the other hand just kind of goes, So yeah, when I'm riding this, I put my hands on like the bars, not on the hoods. Even the right hand, even though there's a shifter there, my hand is still pretty much on the bar because, I don't know, I like to be symmetrical, I guess, and I can still use my fingers to shift, no worries. I definitely do recommend gloves though. Today, I forgot my gloves. I just came out to do a quick video on this thing, but yeah, this is a bit slippy without gloves, so definitely recommend gloves. Then when you set off, the first thing is just the acceleration. The first few pedal strokes, it's pretty bananas, especially these wheels. You know, you got like a 700 gram set of wheels with pretty lightweight tubular tires on there, so obviously there's no inertia to get up to speed. So those first few pedal strokes are just boom, gone. But when you're in the rhythm of a climb, you got hands on the tops here, everything else just feels like a normal bike. It just feels like you're having a bit of a strong day and you're going a bit faster than you usually would go. Like, feels great. People assume it handles like a noodle, but no, like, so again, I'm 50 kg, so you know, don't quote me, but yeah, for me, plenty stiff enough. I'm not doing like, you know, bunch sprints on this thing. You know, at the end of a hill climb, maybe I'm sprinting to like, you know, 500, 600 max at super high cadence, so there's not like massive amounts of torques going through it or anything. Fun being back on 23 mil tires. So 23 mils, pumped up to 120 PSI, brings back memories. Everything just feels so faster. You feel the buzz of the road, every crack in the concrete. Yeah, for me, I love it. Horses for courses. Obviously, I won't want to do a 200k Grand Fondo on this thing, but you know, a short 10k or less hill climb, sign me up. One by work spine, I've got an 1136 on there at the minute. No complaints there. It's only 11 speed. Gaps between the gears are fine for me. I'm not super picky about cadence, but I do like my cadence to be pretty high. And obviously, I can change out the chainring size depending on the climb. So usually before going for the segment or the race or whatever, I'll do it on a normal bike at race pace, see what the lowest speed is, see what the highest speed is, and then choose a chainring or choose gears based on those speeds. The race a few days ago, there was a bit of a downhill segment in the middle, but I can spin up to like 45, 50k an hour, and then just aero tuck and recover for the climb anyway. But yeah, obviously won't be suitable for courses that have a big flat or downhill section in them. The front end of the bike, the steering is also super lively. Obviously the front wheel weighs nothing, and with a 34cm bar on there, yeah, it's very sensitive. But I always rock most of my bikes on 34cm bars anyway, so I'm used to that. So I've taken the computer mount off this to put the camera on, but usually, you know, I just have my Garmin on here, stare down at the Garmin, and put the power out. Nothing, not as crazy as you'd think. Again, horses for courses. People could say, oh, these wheels are too shallow, too narrow, yada, yada, yada. Not aero. But you know, I'm like 51, 52 kilos. My forte is the super steep stuff anyway. So I built this bike for the super steep stuff too. So, you know, climbs where the average speed is like 12 or 13 k's an hour. Aero is definitely not everything. Aero is nothing. So yeah, so far this bike only has 1 KOM to its name. Well, okay, it has lots in its previous iterations. In this iteration, it has 1 KOM to its name, but I'm looking forward to adding to that for sure. Obviously the Hercules heel of this bike is descending with one brake on here, and it's an EE brake at that. Yeah, let's see how that goes. So let's go down this 18-ish% descent. So again, brake for 5 seconds, let go for a few seconds, brake for 5 seconds, let go for a few seconds. Obviously carbon rims, and these are pretty light carbon rims, not designed to take too much heat. But like I say, I weigh 51 kilos, and yeah, most of the braking on the descent is obviously done by the front brake anyway. I figure what me with one brake, 51 kilos going slow down a hill, it's not going to be too much stress compared to a 100-kilo guy whacking on both brakes down a hill, I guess. When I was doing some testing, I do some pretty hard descents and then feel the rim. Yeah, not much tension there at all, like a lot better than I thought. If I can help it, I obviously try not to brake, but on some descents like this one, when you got a big hairpin at the end, no choice. A bit of squeaky squeaky. These little sand sections, 23mm tires, take it easy. People ask, can you ride out the saddle? Yes, you can. Well, it's not the most comfortable experience. You have to kind of like snake wrap your fingers around the handlebar. On the left hand anyway. The right hand, I just put it on the hoods. And yeah, I don't ride much out the saddle anyway. I usually like just sit down and spin. But if it does get a bit steep, or you want to change some leg muscles, it's doable. So like I say, in the future, I think I've got lots of room for improvement. There's a few, you know, there's plenty of things I can do to trim the weight down. You know, again, I'm looking down here, I've got the front derailleur hanger on here, that could come off. A bunch of these other metal inserts and stuff can come off, so yeah. Okay, let's do the weigh-in. Let's do the one with pedals and a bottle cage on there first. So with pedals and a bottle cage, if we stop swinging, 4.56 kilos. Okay, straight off the bat, let's get to the weight. Boom, 4.27 kilograms. My goal is 3.9 kilos without pedals. So yeah, maybe next year's hill climb season, that's what I'm going to be going for. But again, I don't want it to be a scale queen. I don't want it to just be light on the scales. I want it to be fast at going up the hills. So yeah, that's what I've gone for with this setup. Anyway, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends or whatever. Let me know in the comments down below, would you race this? What do you think? What else can I do to improve it? Let me know in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're not subscribed. China Cycling out. Free hub sound check. Pretty tame.